Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. The mantra is still wear your mask, sanitize, and practice social distancing. As it pertains to the rains, stay safe and dry. We're still in the hurricane season. As a matter of fact, weather forecasts suggest that even weeks after November 30, the Atlantic region may experience tropical systems. Protection of life and property is first priority. Stay with us. We explore those issues and many other important matters during the next half hour. It begins now.
Whenever you hear the following tone, the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, will be giving information on an emergency situation affecting the island. Please be on the alert and listen to your radio and television for further information. This was a test of the emergency alert system, brought to you by ODPEM.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 17. The island-wide curfew time of 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. has been extended until December 1. The continued measure to control the spread of COVID-19 was announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in a statement on Monday. Other measures will remain in effect until November 30. Among them are the 15-person rule for burial as well as the public gathering limit of 15 persons. So too, the provision requiring taxis to carry one person less than the maximum number allowed on their license. Also in effect is the pre-testing requirements for both residents and visitors under the controlled entry program. This is in addition to the prohibition on funerals, parties, or events. At the same time, the age limit for the stay-at-home order remains at 65. Persons are also required to wear a mask fitted to cover the nose and mouth when in a public place, at the workplace, and on licensed public passenger vehicles. This remains in effect under the Disaster Risk Management Enforcement Measures No. 15 Order 2020 without an expiry date. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness says in 2 weeks he will announce measures to guide activities in December with emphasis on the Christmas period. He says Cabinet is currently assessing and reviewing the situation to determine the appropriate measures to be taken. Mr. Holness is encouraging all Jamaicans to strictly observe all the protocols and measures to control the spread of COVID-19 to save lives and preserve livelihoods. Government is considering adding more schools to its pilot face-to-face resumption of classes. Currently, 6,000 students in 12 primary and 5 secondary schools across the island have been attending physical classes on a 2-week trial basis. Education Minister Favour Williams says the COVID-19 face-to-face classroom pilot, which started last week, has been going well. Once assessments are done, Minister Williams says a decision will be made on extending the program.
We're going to continue to reopen schools, but we have to do it safely because we're still in the pandemic. We have to do it. We know that there are still parents and teachers who are concerned because they have underlying conditions. And so we have to be accommodating. And that's why we're encouraging schools, even when your students are back in the classroom, to continue to use all the approaches.
The Education Minister was speaking at the recent distribution of e-learning devices to students at Belfield Primary and Infant School. The students targeted were from grades 4, 5, and 6, and who are on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH. E-learning devices will also be handed out to PATH students from grades 10 to 13 across the island. Registration is now open for the Own Your Own Device OYOD incentive program. Through the initiative, 36,000 students from needy families who are not on PATH will each receive $20,000 towards the purchase of a laptop or tablet.
We will have a list of selected vendors that you can purchase these devices from, and the reason for that is we're aware that there are many substandard devices on the market, and we don't want you to get stuck with that, so we've done the work in terms of selecting vendors and negotiating prices with them. So you'll be in a good position once you get the e-voucher.
Parents and guardians may apply online at oyod.educate.gov.jm. Physical numbered application forms are also available from members of Parliament or the Ministry's regional offices. Applications will be accepted between November 17 and December 4. All applications are required to be uploaded to the oyod.educate.gov.jm website. If that's not possible, parents and guardians are asked to submit forms to the Minister of Education, Youth and Information at 2 to 4 National Heroes Circle, Building 1, Kingston 4. For additional information, call 888-696-3669 weekdays between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or email oyod@moey.gov.jm. A brand new pickup truck and surveillance equipment valued at $11.7 million have been handed over to the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. Among the equipment are 14 desktop computers, 4 GIS handheld tablets, a 42-inch platter device for printing of blueprints, 2 drones, and the truck. The donation was made courtesy of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund's Integrated Community Development Project on Friday. Minister of State in the Ministry of Local Government Homer Davis says the ability of the local authority to carry out its core responsibilities and expand its footprint within the parish will be enhanced with JSIF's investment.
This pickup truck will greatly assist the corporation in its damage assessment and repair duties. The computers, tablets and related equipment will also greatly assist in traffic management, public order, spatial management, disaster risk management, and other duties of the municipal corporations.
Managing Director of JSIF, Omar Sweeney, says so far $42 million has been spent under the Integrated Community Development Project.
The idea in giving this sort of technical sort of equipment didn't come by what JSIF said we wanted to give. It was the engagement, as the chairperson had said before, with the council in describing or articulating their needs that would be needed to support our, if you want to say, our shared interests, right? These items came in terms of, if you will, improving the technology that the parish, the municipal council would have to work with.
The Ministry of Justice is now drafting a Mediation Act and updating the Restorative Justice Act to strengthen the use of mediation and restorative justice in settling some matters outside of the court. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck says the increased use of these alternative dispute resolution methods will speed up the delivery of justice. He says it will also help to reduce the backlog of cases that are before the courts.
We have far too many matters going to court. So the end result is cases are now being set for 2025, 2026, and in some cases, 2027. Now, to my mind, when you set matters so far down the road, beyond the next 3 years, I believe for the litigants, it's a lose-lose situation. There's no way either party benefits from having a matter drag on for years.
Minister Chuck was speaking recently at a JIS think tank. Lauding the work of the island's restorative justice centers, he said referral of parish court cases to the restorative justice centers had resulted in a reduction of the backlog of cases before the courts. Restorative justice is a process in which all the parties involved in a particular offense come together to repair harm caused by the conflict or crime and address its implications for the future. Meanwhile, mediation is an assisted negotiation technique where an impartial third party helps persons involved in conflict arrive at a settlement. And finally, renowned reggae artist Frederick Toots Hibbert was laid to rest on Sunday at the National Heroes Park. The brief ceremony was attended by close family and friends, as well as Minister of Culture and Entertainment Olivia Grange, who arranged for the burial to take place at the location. Toots was buried beside Dennis Brown, another musical icon. He died on September 11 at the age of 77 at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Among the top charts for the international recording artist were 5446, That's My Number, Pressure Drop, Bam Bam, and Pomp and Pride. Toots was also a 3-time winner of the Jamaica Festival Song Competition. His last entry was among the 10 finalists for 2020. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching. You've asked for it, and now it's here. The Jamaica Information Service has updated its mobile app. It's easier to navigate, loads even faster than before, talking about top speed, operates seamlessly across platforms, and we're a creative bunch, so it's much easier on the eyes. Now you have quick and easy access to news stories, television and radio features, and a variety of photos right at your fingertips. And you'll get push notifications when new content is uploaded. Download the app on your Apple and Android devices now and get news you can use. Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica on the go.
Up next, a recap of Prime Minister Andrew Holness's assignments last week. Watch this.
Government considering relocation for disaster-prone communities. $2 billion infrastructure program to get underway, and new Ministry of Labour building opens in St. Anne. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. The rains resulted in severe damage to homes, roads, and other infrastructure. As part of the state's disaster resilience, Prime Minister Holness said assessments would be done on communities to determine their need for relocation.
We cannot allow informal and illegal settlements to occur. We cannot allow communities to emerge and then we have to now follow behind with the infrastructure. But the question that we will have to answer in this House and the Cabinet will have to answer, should we seek to relocate those persons or should we seek to rebuild in the same spot? Whether or not we have lands available for relocation and whether or not the properties were in fact in a river course, floodplain, or a marginal area. So I am just sounding the alarm, the warning now that we cannot have some of these communities continuing to exist in these areas in the face of the weather events that are projected to happen on a cyclical basis, because every 2 years you're going to have this crime.
The Met Office has indicated that the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June to November annually, is expected to continue into January 2021. While in Parliament, the Prime Minister also gave an update on government's flood relief efforts. He said 48 displaced Jamaicans were in shelters across the island. The Jamaica Defence Force Disaster Assistance Relief Team had been deployed to the St. Andrew community of Bull Bay, and the National Works Agency managed to clear several blocked roads across the island. Mr. Holness said a previously announced $2 billion rehabilitation program would come on stream shortly. He said priority focus would be placed on clearing roads, cleaning drains, and patching roadways.
There is no doubt that many across the island are suffering from the inconveniences of various kinds of dislocations relating to damage to road infrastructure. I urge our people to be patient, as we cannot respond to all situations at the same time. We do not have, as you know, unlimited resources, and therefore we must be strategic in how we allocate and use our scarce resources.
Back at Jamaica House Wednesday, the Prime Minister welcomed the second batch of participants under the Jamaica House Fellowship Program. The 7 fellows will spend 2 years as paid full-time interns at various ministries, departments, and agencies of government. During the orientation session, Mr. Holness urged the participants to give of their best.
What we are interested in is creating entrepreneurs. We want you to come into the organization, understand the rules, respect the history and tradition, but at the same time, figure out how we can look towards improving those rules, re-engineering those processes to become more efficient.
On Thursday, the Prime Minister was in St. Anne for the opening of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security Parish Office. The $500 million facility is equipped with disabled access, ample parking, energy-efficient fixtures, water storage, and a camera system. Prime Minister Holness also unveiled a plaque in honor of late Minister Shahini Robinson, who was instrumental in bringing the project to fruition.
And no doubt her spirit is here with us as we gather to officially open the facility. We are all saddened that she could not be here, but we know that she's happy that this has been accomplished.
Mr. Holness used the Labour Ministry's Centre and office opening to address public discourse surrounding mining in the parish's Dry Harbour Mountains. It was revealed earlier in the week that government had granted a license for mining on Bengal lands in the area. The license was granted during an appeal after the original request was denied. Mr. Holness said the decision to grant the license was not taken lightly, noting that 71 conditions of the license had to be met.
The development plan is not just on mining, and that was also very important. It is a wider development plan. So in effect, the people who are doing the mining, they have to pay for their supervision, they have to pay for restoration and any form of environmental protection and care that has to take place in that area. And it will be strictly regulated.
As Jamaica joined the observation of World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims, the Prime Minister called on persons to take action and save lives. While commending first responders, Mr. Holness said the country also supported the United Nations General Assembly's proclamation of a second decade of action for road safety between 2021 and 2030.
Colleagues and friends, on this day, we pause to remember those who lost their lives on our roads. Support those who survived road crashes and take action to save lives.
On Friday, the Prime Minister reiterated government's commitment to redoubling efforts against criminal elements. The Prime Minister's pledge followed the death of Correctional Officer Jamel Wesley, who was attached to the St. Catherine Adult Correctional Center. 32-year-old Wesley was on duty when he was attacked and stabbed with a makeshift ice pick. He succumbed to his injuries during surgery. Mr. Holness said the Department of Corrections would be more vigilant in detecting instruments fashioned to harm persons at correctional facilities. He also expressed condolences to Wesley's family and colleagues at the Department of Correctional Services. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Are you a small to medium-sized tourism enterprise? Borrow up to $25 million at an interest rate of 5%. You can use the funding to develop and maintain your infrastructure, upgrade or increase your capacity, enhance and expand your attraction, tour or event, and purchase raw material. Call the Exim Bank and ask about the Tourism SMTE loan. Their numbers are 876-630-1400 or 876-618-5889. Tap into the over $3 billion earned yearly through tourism with a SMTE loan.
Tourism has been severely impacted by COVID-19. The pandemic halted travel globally, shuttering many hotels. Jamaica, being a tourism-dependent nation, swiftly implemented a policy that would return visitors to the island, but within a safe environment. Take a look.
The first line of protection we have put in place is a resilience corridor for tourism travel. Tourist movement in this area will be controlled and they will not be allowed to leave the corridor.
What Destination Jamaica has done with the resilience corridor, which I think was a master stroke from the Ministry of Tourism in setting that up and getting the TPDCO certifying the hotels and establishments to reopen, has done well, because what they're doing is making sure that the protocols are all in place and ready to go.
If you look in the Caribbean, not many countries took the bold move to put in place a resilient corridor. Resilient corridor is important because if you notice throughout the Caribbean and the world, countries have either gone full open or major lockdown. Jamaica, because of the size of our country, it will be very, very tough to go with a full lockdown. And because we are concerned about everybody's health, it will be very tough to go with opening everything up. So the resilient corridor was put in place, I say with a lot of joy, to enable an in-between ground so that our industry can have a chance to not prosper, but to survive.
The corridor essentially moves from Negril along the main road areas, east, northeast, along that highway all the way to Port Antonio, so that all the properties on the windward side, or the beach side, so to speak, would be embraced in that corridor.
What we have seen to date is that it has worked reasonably well. It has worked well. We have really focused on making sure the compliance is in place.
To guide businesses that are reopening, we have designed detailed operating protocols for each segment of the industry, and it's contained in this document. From training to supplies to procedures, everything is covered in this document. Businesses within the corridor will go through extensive training and will not be allowed to open until they have been assessed by TPDCO. If the assessment is successful by the TPDCO, they will receive a certificate, and they will receive that certificate, which must be displayed properly in their establishment to indicate that their business is the TPDCO protocol compliant.
We work closely with the TPDCO to monitor and ensure that the required surveillance is taking place throughout. It's not that guests are right now allowed to openly go anywhere in the corridor. It was supposed to be a phased reopening. It started first with just hotels. So people coming into the island had to stay within the hotel. Then it was expanded to include COVID resilient certified transport, going to COVID resilient certified attractions. And again, you're following the same chain. It's 27,000 at the last count of tourism employees that are now trained, COVID resilient trained. They are trained in the protocols, they're trained in the specific adoption of the protocols for whatever area they work in. There's also 70 officers that are on the front line from TPDCO that are dealing with the inspection, training, and enforcement, as well as over 120 DC officers that were traditionally from the tourism force, Courtesy Corps. So there is a full range of oversight taking place, and so it's really a joined up approach. It's a private sector, public sector approach to ensuring the compliance. There is a continual effort to monitor the improvements in the science and to improve what the protocols are, as well as to look at if there are any scientific improvements that can help with testing, or the improvement of the testing and the cost of testing, etc.
The World Travel and Tourism Council, a global leader in the tourism industry, has reviewed and endorsed our protocol with their stamp of approval. It is important to recognize that the support will not stop once the assessment is complete. The workers will receive ongoing training and the comfort of knowing the businesses that they are involved in, while we monitor and ensure that there is ongoing compliance on the part of all.
If I cancel them you off, make sure you gon' get them done. That is how we are go trace them, identify them, tag it and trace it. Prevent disease from spreading, your health is worth defending. Tag it and trace it. You never think fi I tag them with pride, help put the coat even out of style. Tag it and trace it.
A message from the Agricultural Competitiveness Program of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries.
Informing. Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome to Get the Fact.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
You've reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks so much for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, click on our social media pages for more informative features. While there, please subscribe to our pages and click that notification bell so you can stay in the know. I'm Adrian Atkinson, encouraging you to stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.